When did you first go to sea? How old were you, and what was your first ship?
I went to sea in January 1942. I was 15 years of age, and the first ship was the Arcaba, belonging to the Adelaide Company.
ARKABA, isn't it?
ARKABA, yeah.
And what type of ship was it?
A coastal ship, general cargo.
You know roughly how many was in the crew?
I would not have any great idea, but I know that the forecastle, as far as we were concerned, had 9 ABs, 2 deck boys and a gunner.
It's a few. Yeah, just into the forecastle.
Yeah.
And what made you go to sea?
Well, I'd done the intermediate at high school, and then I don't know, the results weren't that good, I don't think, and the cousin, her boyfriend or friend at the time, he worked for the Adelaide Company, and he said, "Why don't you go to sea, Bill?" And so I said, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind going to sea." And so he, in those days, it wasn't, you didn't get the jobs through the union, it was through the
deck boys,
deck boys starting off. You know.
And the deck boys, correct me if I'm wrong, but they weren't in the union either, were they?
No, you didn't join the union until you became ordinary seaman.
Yeah.
And then you were at 12 months probationary.
Yeah.
Before you went.
And in those days, what were the conditions like? What were your wages? You know, hours of work, leave.
Oh well, very upside down. I mean, the deck boys looked after the crew, the bosun, and one of the deck boys looked after the bosun and the carpenter, but half the 1 week, and the other fella did the forecastle and the mess room, and that's how they worked it, you know.
Yeah. In them days, what leave did you get then?
I think it was £4.16 a month.
Yeah. And your leave system was how long? What was that?
A fortnight, 12 months.
12 months, yeah. That's if you were lucky.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
But, yes.
In those days, what was your time in port and that? How long did you used to get in port for loading and discharging?
We had different times and that there. It all depended on the wharfies and what cargo you were loading and what you weren't unloading. And the bunkering situation, you know, like sometimes you might be 3 or 4 weeks, sometimes longer, you know.
Because they were coal burners in them days too,
all coal burners, yes. And we're in the forecastle, the forecastle, there was one forecastle one side, we all lived aft, and the sailors and the firemen and the greasers and the trimmers, they were on the other forecastle on the other side.
Yeah. And I know part of your duties was to look after the chippy and the bosun and that, but how did they change as you went through the ranks and that over time? How did your duties change?
As you went through the ranks?
Yeah.
You mean as far as ordinary seaman?
Yeah, ordinary seaman, AB.
Then once you went ordinary seaman, then you'd be a watchkeeper.
Yeah.
And do that type of thing, you know, like you'd do the same as the ABs. Well, the ABs would show you what's what.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And over time they changed it, you know.
Yes.
Gear turns and
everything.
Yeah.
My word.
Yeah. What was the tucker like in them days?
Well, it wasn't over good, but I mean, the officers, their food was different to ours. Like, I mean, they had eggs every morning, and that we didn't. We got it once a week or something. You know, I forget all this. Anyway, it's written up in it.
Yeah. I think it was what we used with Les. The whatchamacallit on the bulkhead on the border trade stuff was sufficient without waste, wasn't it?
Yeah, sufficient without waste. Oh, yes. Well, deck boys used to go along with the kits, pick up the food, and we'd carry it along to the mess room.
Yeah.
And the mess room was situated underneath the winch island.
Yeah.
And if the wharfies were working, it was hell, you know. You'd just go out and sit alongside the hatch.
Yeah. The good old days, mate. How did the food change over the years?
Oh, it definitely changed quite a lot, you know. I can remember it, you know.
Yeah.
Different altogether, my word.
Yeah. What did the good old ship owner provide you with them days in the way of linen, soap, working gear, safety gear, etc.?
There wasn't that much. fact, I can't remember that much about it. I mean, I've got it written down, as I said, but I'd have to, go.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they
Our
provide.
mattresses, they used to change them every 6 months. I think we'd get new mattresses.
Oh yeah.
They were, they'd be about about 8 inches thick when you got them, and after about 3 or 4 weeks, they'd be down to about 1 inch or 2 inches. 2 inches.
They weren't what was called a donkey's breakfast, were they?
Yes, more or less. That is correct.
Yeah. Good old ship owner.
Yes.
What over the years you would have been on different types of ships and different. What was life like on them? What was the different type of ships and the life like on them?
Different, like so many. I mean, in fact, I was on the Caltex Liverpool, the tanker, and I was on ships running different cargoes. The 60 milers, running coal, Newcastle, Sydney, all that business. It was.
And you've run a little cement boat for years too.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. The Liverpool, she was one of the first of the tankers to come on the coast.
Yeah. Pat Garrity was the bosun when I joined.
Was Alan bring her out too, did he? Alan Allport bring her out?
I cannot remember. Alan Oliver was there.
Sorry, not Alan Allport, Alan Oliver,
Yes, he was there when I was there. In fact, he went, when Pat went into the, as far as the Federal Secretary, was assistant, Alan Oliver took over.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Over the years, you would have met quite a few characters in that. Any spring to mind?
I could read them out, but it's very hard to remember offhand.
Yeah.
Of some top chaps, really good. Some unusual.
Yeah.
It's all written there in the history anyway. You'll be able to.
You've had a few out of Sydney, the likes of Jock and Cheeky Harry and.
Yes, all that gang. Yeah. Or Moon, I think. Who else was there?
Jeez, I haven't heard his name for years.
Mad Mariner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I knew him very well.
Yeah.
I shipped out with him quite a lot.
I hadn't heard Buller's name for years.
Yeah. I think it was Buller Moon.
Yeah. I haven't.
The Mad Mariner.
It's amazing, when I'm doing this, how the amount of, because all the different blokes I've done, they bring back memories of all the blokes.
Right.
Over your time at sea, you would have had some highs and lows, good times, bad times.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
What sort of times you had like that?
I'll be quiet. I mean, really and truly, it'd be very hard for me to go back and think about. If I had the book in my hand, I could read them out a little bit, But
about now, this one you've got to remember. We were just talking about a while ago. Near misses you've experienced. Now, one of them, who Alan Oliver reckons happened on the Uluru, but we found out in reality it wasn't the Uluru.
Oh no, that was the. Akaba, they're coming up through Sydney, or coming up to Sydney from Port Kembla. Yeah. And that was when the Japanese submarines bombarded Sydney. Yeah. And our lookout, he reported he could see the flashlights and hear the gunfire from Sydney Heads. And we must have gone between the mothership for the Japanese and the submarines, the small ones, because we were going to Newcastle from Port Kembla, and the time we left Port Kembla, I forget what time it now, and that time we would have been there. And while we were in Newcastle, that was the time the next Sunday they dropped a few more explosives on Newcastle.
So you were lucky that they didn't decide, we comes a cargo
I think
ship.
they were too interested because the Americans had a big battleship in there.
Yeah.
And they were after that, I think.
And if they'd have done use, they probably would have given themselves away.
That's right, give themselves away.
Any more near misses than that you've been in around that time? Or you've been pretty quiet sedate life since then?
No, very quiet. On the Duntroon we had quite a few bits and pieces,
The Seaman Union of Australia, mate, how did it influence shipboard life and the welfare of seamen and their families?
Quite a lot, yes, absolute. I mean, we had good leaders, no doubt about it, E.V. Elliott and all the gang, And one of my best friends I went to sea with before when he became an official was Jack Fitzgerald.
Oh, Fitzy.
Yeah, top
Yeah.
chap,
Yeah.
Jack. Him and I were very good friends. you
Yeah.
know. There's my
Yeah.
memoirs, you'll see all about him anyway.
Oh, Jackie and Betty, his wife.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I had the pleasure. I never sailed Jack. I had the pleasure of meeting him, and that while he was still in office and that in Brisbane. That
Yeah.
when I shipped out of Brisbane.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, I knew the chap that took over from him for a while.
Steely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy, he's pretty crook lately, Jimmy.
Ah.
Yeah. How did it influence the welfare of seamen and their families?
Oh,
The Seaman Union.
very much so. We went from the old forecastle days to the single berth cabins over the years.
Yeah.
Admittedly, you know, but we went like when the riverboats came out, we were 3 in a cabin, you know, and we thought that was good, you know. We moved. Sometimes we were 4 in a cabin of some of the older ships, and then
Yeah.
we were slowly getting up a little bit further, and we were going from the after end of the vessel, which when the ships had the midship quarters, we moved up into the midship section.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see as deck boys and kid going along with carrying all the kits to the mess room underneath the which island wasn't too pleasant in the
Yeah.
old days, you know.
Especially in a bit of bad
Especially in a
weather,
bit of
mate.
bad weather.
Yeah.
You'd get custard with the roast beef.
Yeah. Yeah. All right if you're in a hurry to have a feed and you didn't
Oh,
worry.
yeah.
Yeah. Any disputes in that you can remember ever being in, and that? And what was the action was taken and the results of them?
Really and truly, there were a lot I was in, but
Yeah.
I really could not. I'd have to
Single one
go
out. Yeah.
back. I'm sorry to be able to.
No, that's all
Yeah,
right
help
because
that
you
way,
know,
because,
even in just a short time. Well,
Yes.
I've been at sea 43 years, and even
Yes.
in the time I've been.
Oh no, I
lucky,
was in some big disputes.
Yeah.
I was in the dispute, or not the dispute. I had to go up to the Seamen's Union when I was on the, I think it was the Menando, and I was taking the union book up, the ship's book, to be signed by the
minute book,
officials.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and E.V. Elliott was in. Anyway, while I was in there, next minute these carriages came in and they said, righto, nobody touch, leave all these books to be left here. We want to see Mr. Elliott, you know. And they said, righto, and he said, everything is, not a thing is to be touched. I had the minute book under my arm.
Yeah.
And anyway, out came, they said, the official, Barney Smith it was, went out and said, Mr. Elliott, the officials here for whatever they were from,
Yeah.
do you want to come out here and speak to them? And Barney and E.V. said, yes. He said, I'll come out.
Yeah.
He came out and they handed him the paper saying
Yeah.
they're under guard or whatever.
Yeah.
You know. And he said, sorry, he said, they said, what's wrong? He said, wrong address, it's the place next door. They had the wrong,
address.
number on, yes, written up there.
Is that when the federal coppers tried to get him?
Yes,
was it?
that was the time. I was there, I went up there with
Yeah.
as I said, with the minute book
Yeah.
to get it to mark. They used to mark our minutes books, the
Yeah.
officials will read through.
'Cause,
Yeah.
And now what was there was a photo of him, wasn't there, coming either out of court or out of somewhere where they had
Yeah.
him and pointing his finger, and it's was like that Uncle Sam, and
Yes.
instead of your country needs you, your union needs you, or
Yeah,
something.
yes, that's
Yeah,
right. Yes,
yeah,
that's
I
correct.
remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and in the end they couldn't prove anything.
No.
It was all a whole heap of garbage.
Oh yeah, absolute. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was the really at that time
Yeah.
very upside down business.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Stop-work meetings, mate. The importance of stop-work meetings and what role they played and how well they were attended.
Oh
and
yes,
that.
my word, yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Oh, absolute. Big thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I went to quite a few of those.
Yeah.
But,
They were used to be well attended too, didn't
oh
they?
my word.
Yeah.
Oh, absolute.
Yeah.
Yes. Still
You go to ones lately?
Yeah. No. But,
There'd be a handful there. That's about all.
yes, it wouldn't be too many there now.
No, and they mainly retired blokes.
Yes.
You just
We,
don't seem to be able to get the new ones.
No.
In the good old days, mate, how was seamen selected for jobs and that, in the pickup and that?
Well, we used to stand in a line and either the engineer or the officer who wanted men, we had one of our officials on the dais with them, and he'd say, well, I want 2 firemen for the such and such ship. The engineer would say to the official, and if the official had called, 2 firemen for the so-and-so. And anybody that wanted the job would stand in a line.
No.
And the engineer would go along say, I'll have you and I'll have you. That's how it works, you know. And there were some of them, they used to very shonky, a little bit underneath the lap a little bit. Somebody would hang a hold on his coat if it was a good job, and if he was known to the officer, he might get that job because they knew him, you know.
Newspaper under his arm.
Newspaper under his arm, that's right, you know.
Rose in his lapel, yeah. What about Schedule C, and when it came in, which put an end to all that, didn't it?
Yes, that's right, that's correct, yes, oh yes. So much I don't, I can't help you with it on that.
Yeah, no, that's okay, yeah. And the leave system.
Yeah, the leave system changed, it made a lot of difference, and I think when I was on the 60 milers, especially the Wallara, I think we got the leave system crew on, and I forget how much what we did, 7 weeks on, 7 weeks off, you know.
Yeah.
But that's what it was.
A little bit better than the 11 months on and 2 weeks off.
Oh my word, yeah.
Yeah,
that was it.
The Union School, mate, did you ever, the one down at St George's Basin?
No,
never went down there?
No. It was too early for it.
The SRF, what effect did the SRF have on you?
Much the SRF, the
retirement fund,
yes. That had a different. That made a difference. I mean, there was money going into that. You know, like it certainly helped when you left the going to sea.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a big thing, big change around. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yes, my word. I wasn't in it for that long, but I was on the Macedon at the time when that came in. I think, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I was only in 2 ships after that, so I was on the Iron Kirby and the TNT Capricornia.
Yeah, right. And how did going to sea affect your family life?
Oh, well, it more or less, I was going to sea well and truly before I got married, you know. And then when I was married, well, I tried to get vessels that were closer to Sydney. We were living in Sydney at the time, and I would try to get jobs in 60 milers, or instead of doing the long trips away.
Yeah.
And so I was lucky at one stage I joined the Wallara, and I was in it 5 years.
Oh yeah.
And the family, most of our children, 2 or 3 of the children were born when I was on the Wallara.
Yeah.
And it was a big thing.
Yeah.
Because we were back and forwards, you know.
Yeah, all the time. So you sort of seen the kids grow up.
Well, we weren't running to we were running to Adelaide, but we were only and back to Sydney all the time. You know? Yeah. It was very handy.
Yeah. Well, Beat's been away for months at a time.
Yeah, my word. You knew where you were going all the time. We were 12 days away.
Yeah.
And if we went to Melbourne, we'd be 18 days away.
Yeah.
That's what it was. But I knew where I was all the time, and the time off and that there, like it.
Yeah, no, it certainly did do a lot for family life.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah. Your last ship?
The Capricornia, TNT Capricornia.
Weber Gladstone.
Yes, I think I flew to Gladstone to join her.
Oh yeah.
Or did I? No, I flew to Newcastle to join her, I think.
Oh, she brought a load of alumina down.
Gladstone. I flew home from Gladstone.
Yeah, she brought a load of alumina down, did she?
Yes, that's right.
Thanks, Peter.
Yes.
And what year was that you retired out of her?
I think it was 88, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. And what do you do now? You're still active in the union, or vets and that?
Pardon?
With the vets? The veterans?
No, I more or less, I'd meet up with the gang now and then and go to the turnouts, yes. I'm in the RSL,
and I
go to the turnouts there. Oh yes, I go to some of the turnouts for the Seaman. Yes.
And what do you think of what's happening with the industry today?
Well, it's changed that much. And the boys, they do understand it a lot more. But to me, it's a different way of life altogether now. Like more or less their jobs are through the company, and the old days of, different altogether.
Yeah, no, company employed, mate.
Yes. Yes, I can't say that much about it.
Yes. That is roughly about it. So it's not as bad as pulling teeth, was it?
But I probably, if I gone through some of the stuff I'd be able to tell you, but I forget it. So
no, look, that's all right, because, see, what I made the mistake quite a few times of giving blokes the questions and that, or letting them go through stuff before I get hold of them.
Yeah,
and then it's like, it's not spontaneous.
Oh, I see.
And it you know, it's like any
that's right.
dime a dozen thing sort of thing. So this way here it works out good.
Oh, that's good.
And the only other thing is that anything else you'd like to say?
No, I'm hoping I've got 2 boys at sea, and they're going along pretty well, and they're enjoying their positions now. So I think things. I really and truly, I hate to see so many overseas vessels coming, cutting out so many of our positions or jobs or whatever.
As I said, we won't mention anything about a son of a good old AB being a bloody engineer. We won't say that, Phil. We won't.
I was thinking of when you had asked him a question about different things. What about Archer and the airfield and the time you're on the mast and the Moonlight Head when you nearly came ashore?
Oh yes. Moonlight. That was in. When Archer, that was on the.
Archer was the airfield, wasn't it?
Archer was the airfield. Yes.
You came into port.
It's all in the.
Port was closed.
Pardon? Yes. The port was closed.
Where was that at?
Sydney Heads.
Oh yeah.
They closed the port.
Yeah.
And anyway, the next that night, I got Archer. He went against the position, and he decided to enter because otherwise we would have gone down. We only had one tarpaulin battened down, and because we only had hatches in those days, and had 2 tarps on, but only one was wedged in. And if that had gone with the weather that was coming over us, we'd have been gone down like that. Anyway, the next night on TV, Bet was there.
That night.
But that night they had us on TV.
What one was this on?
The
Airfield.
Airfield.
I'm glad you're here, buddy. You wouldn't have remembered this.
No. Well, I've got it there written down.
The reporter on the TV said, "It's coming. It's the airfield." I thought, "Oh God, Bill's on that ship." He said, "It's going down because the mast disappeared."
Then she's gone. She's gone.
Sewn up in the harbour.
Yeah.
I've got it, and I don't know whether you remember this photo. I've got it somewhere at home, a newspaper clipping of the Empress of Australia when she sailed out of here.
Oh yes.
And you can see her. She's nearly half of her out of the water as she goes through the heads.
Ah.
Yeah, it's it was taken by the Sydney Morning Herald or something like that. I think it was. But it's a top photo. As I said, the Empress, and she's like that, half her out of the water.
Golly,
At the time you were off Moonlight Head when the engines broke.
That's all right. That's okay.
It's down to the bottom of it.
Yes, that was a long time ago, but yes.
That was on the Macedon.
On the Macedon, yes. We thought she was gone. We got a tug out to help us. And they got, but lo and behold, the weather eased off, and we she didn't have to pull us off. So.
I thought you said you hadn't been in too many near misses.
Oh, there's a few different. There's quite a lot if you read through the those things that I've written down. You'll find a lot there.
That's one of the things, like I can go through it and read that. Not too many other people can. That's why I was asking you. See, that's,
you'd have to.
That's why I'm a sneaky baby.
Go easy and not hand around it with some of the skippers and that mightn't like the what I said about them and that. There.
Mate, it's
nothing really.
No.
Bad, but.
As I said, Homeboat down home, he couldn't tell us nothing because he signed the Official Secrets Act, and his missus said, "Give over Homeboat." That was 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, so just scratch finger there.
Our neighbours had an engagement party.
Yeah, so that's all I can tell you anyway.
Yeah. So you sure?
Yes.
Okay. I better let you go to the club anyway. That's
no, that's all right.
No, thanks very much for that, Bill.
About 5:30.
Much appreciated, mate.
Swept the channel for us to go for the mines for the ships to go up to Singapore before the surrender was signed, in fact. And the mine sweeps had been out, and they put buoys down. So anyway, we went up to Singapore on the wrong side of the buoys.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
You got any more you got to remind me about that?
Oh, gosh.
I think he wants to get around and have a beer, that's why he's cutting it short.
Well, you usually leaves you about 10 past.
Oh yeah, I
10 past.
don't want to hurry away at all. I'm not. I don't
No,
want to
that's
be,
all right.
You know,
That's all right.
I don't really care that
Yeah.
much, but I usually just go around. So
Yeah. No, that's all right, mate.
Yeah.
No, it's just little things like. See, I'll put that back on to get that part.
Yeah.
About the.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, there's
Now, just go back on that little bit. You arrived in Singapore when?
Before the Japanese
Yeah.
signed the surrender,
Oh yeah.
and we were there the day they signed the surrender.
Yeah, right.
And on the wall in the lounge room
Yeah.
inside, there's a piece out of one of the journals.
What
Not-
job were you on then? When you
The Duntree.
on the
We
Duntree?
brought back the prisoners of war
Oh yeah, right.
from
Yeah.
Changi
Yeah.
camp.
I'll have to find out from my wife. Her uncle came back on one of them. I'm not quite sure which one.
Yeah.
And
Well-
my uncles were in Changi too, and they came back.
Yeah, well, there was a chap that lives up a couple of streets where he did.
Yeah.
He's dead now. I brought him back. He was
Oh,
on
yeah.
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 And there was the Menunda was in there. She was loading POWs,
Yeah.
and because in worse
Yeah.
state than the ones we had. Ours were just thin bones
Yeah.
and skin and bones.
Yeah.
But some of them were very sick. They took and
What did you have in your cabin? What belonged to the soldiers?
oh, the samurai swords. I had about 8 in the.
Yeah,
I was
right.
looking after for them, the samurai swords. Those ones in there aren't.
Yeah. I interviewed one bloke, Paddy Green, out of Melbourne. He was on the. Forget the name of it now. I've probably got it in here somewhere. I'm not quite sure. It's either in this or my other book. He was on a Kiwi one that got taken. No, it's in the other one. Got taken prisoner on American Independence Day.
Oh,
Must have been
how was
42, I think it was.
Yes.
Out of West Australia, and he got put in Changi, but
Oh.
they were outside the actual main prison.
Main, yes.
And he was saying that they got treated good.
yes.
The Navy blokes treated them good when they were taking them up there.
Yes.
And yeah, but not like the bloody.
Oh no, some of them were,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about the convoy too? You got the trip to New Guinea. The story about the convoy. You were at the wheel. Went the wrong way.
Oh, that wasn't going to New Guinea.
No, that was coming round.
Going to Melbourne,
Yeah.
and in the convoy, yeah. And anyway, we were in the. In fact, we were on the port side of the. There were 3 ships in a. Well, there were 3 in a row, as
Yeah.
you know, like as far as the convoy went. And anyway, we're getting up to. As you spring around to go up towards Melbourne. Anyway, we all had to go. The signal was given, and all vessels went to starboard. And I was at the wheel, and I went to port. And the third mate said, "What are you doing?" I said, "You got the wheel the wrong way." I forget the story now.
Yeah.
It's all written up anyway.
Yeah.
I can go on about it.
You just say that's the other stuff.
It was night time, I think.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Young too.
Yeah.
Won a trip to New Guinea on that story.
Yes, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I wrote the like told the story.
Yeah.
The story. It sounds better like when it's written. It's wrong how I'm saying it now, I suppose. But I got a trip to New Guinea
Yeah, right.
on their story.